Welcome to Are You Addicted to Food Part 1.5. Eating is not a repeatedly harmful behavior, because without eating you cease to exist. And we like you here. Here are some things that affect people's eating behavior. I posted this on the gram a few days ago. You may have seen it. Ask yourself these questions. Are you on a restrictive diet? When you eat carbs, do you pair them with a protein or a fat? Have you removed any macronutrient groups from your diet? Are there specific foods that you're not allowing yourself to eat? Are there specific foods that you like to have in the house, but you don't let yourself have in the house? I eat ice cream. And lastly, do you trust yourself around food? How you answer these questions will dramatically affect how you behave around sugar. Someone who hasn't had Ben & Jerry's in a year and thinks that they cannot be trusted around food, someone who hasn't had Ben & Jerry's in a year and never keeps it in the house, is going to behave differently than someone who has Ben & Jerry's in the freezer all the time and has a little bit of it a few times a week. Do you see what I'm getting at? Restrictive behavior, someone's relationship with food, and their perception of if they can be trusted around food dramatically affects their behavior around these sugary or addictive type foods. Moving on to this comment. The hormonal response people get from these hyperpalatable foods is not a bad thing. Food should be a source of enjoyment and pleasure in your life. When it does become problematic is when food is the only source of endorphins and happy hormones in your life. Because then we teach our bodies that when we're stressed, depressed, upset, anxious, that food is the only way we can feel better. Because that creates a habit. When I feel bad, I go eat, I feel better. That's when it becomes problematic. But the solution to this is fairly straightforward, and we'll talk about it in video 3. Find other activities outside of food that give you happy hormones. Find one that works for you and repeat. So then you can teach your brain when you're feeling these negative feelings, you have another activity that gives you a positive hormonal response that is not related to food. So in summary, restrictive behavior and food relationships will affect people's behavior around sugar. And this hormonal response around sugar becomes detrimental when our only source of endorphins and happy hormones is food. But we will talk about more of these things soon.